Oluchi, a woman of striking beauty with radiant dark skin, sat on her bed staring at the faint morning light filtering through her curtains. Today marked her 39th birthday, but instead of celebration, she was lost in a sea of memories and questions. How did I get here? She whispered to herself, her voice barely audible over the hum of the ceiling fan. Her mind wandered back to her younger self, a vibrant 27-year-old with a figure that turned heads and a smile that melted hearts. Back then, suitors flocked to her like a moth to a flame. 5 men had sought her hands out in marriage, but it was Uche who stood out. Uche was bold, charming, and humorous enough to light up a room. His caramel-toned skin and disarming smile made him unforgettable, but it was his confidence in approaching our parents that sealed the deal. Despite their 11-year age difference, Oluchi felt a sense of safety with him, convinced he would be the ideal husband. But life has a way of unmasking the truth. 4 months after their wedding, Oluchi discovered she was pregnant. Elated, she rushed to share the news with Uche, expecting his joy to match ours. Instead, his response was a dagger to her heart. Who got you pregnant? Because I'm sure not the one. The joy she had felt turned sour as tears streamed down her face. From that moment, the man she thought would be a protector became a tormentor. Uche ignored her throughout her pregnancy, leaving her to navigate the journey alone. But Oluchi clung to hope, praying that their daughter's arrival would mend their fractured relationship. When baby Nello was born, Uche did become a doting father, but the gap between him and Oluchi only widened. Uche's late-night drinking and cigarette stench became constant companions in their home, as did his harsh words, which cut deeper than any physical wound. Despite the emotional abuse, Uche provided materially for Oluchi. She had everything she could desire, except the most vital things, which is love, respect, and affection. Her loneliness drove her to food for comfort, and her once slender frame began to change. Yet, even with her growing size, her hourglass figure remained. It remained as a testament to her enduring beauty. The breaking point came one evening when Uche returned home drunk. Without warning, he packed Oluchi and Nello into his car and drove them to Oluchi's parents' house. Standing before her father, he declared, "I can't live with her anymore. Take your daughter back." He left them there, offering a small stipend for survival and vanishing from their lives. The years that followed were bleak. Oluchi, struggling with glaucoma and unable to secure a job, fell deeper into depression. Yet, in the midst of her despair, her daughter Nello became a beacon of hope, a loving, cheerful child who always found ways to lift her mother's spirits. After 5 years of separation, Oluchi resolved to take control of her life. She started a small business, selling used clothes, popularly known as okrika. scraping together a living for herself and Nello. Though the work was hard, it gave her a sense of purpose. Every Sunday, she and Nello attended the local cathedral, where Oluchi found solace in prayer, often praying, "God, if you're listening, please turn my life around." She whispered this daily. One morning, as she walked back from dropping Nello off at school, lost in thought, she didn't notice the blaring horn of an approaching SUV. The vehicle screeched to a halt, narrowly missing her. The driver, a tall, strikingly handsome man with warm brown skin, jumped out. "Are you all right, ma'am? I am so sorry," he said, gripping her wrist gently but firmly. Oluchi looked up and was momentarily speechless. His smile, his deep baritone voice, and concerned eyes melted her defenses. She barely registered his apology, nodding absent-mindedly, as her cheeks burned with an unfamiliar warmth. When he offered to drive her home, she accepted, still dazed. The man introduced himself as Femi during the ride. Though they barely spoke, Oluchi couldn't help but notice how her heart fluttered with each word he said. She felt alive in a way she hadn't in years. Femi didn't waste time. The next morning, he called Oluchi, eager to know more about the captivating woman he had almost ran over. Their conversations grew frequent, turning into long walks, shared meals, and eventually a bond of trust and friendship. Femi became a father figure to Nello, taking them both on outings that felt like family adventures. For the first time in years, Oluchi felt loved and cherished. Encouraged by Femi's unwavering support, Oluchi filed for divorce. Uche, still bitter and spiteful, didn't contest it. The process was swift, and when it was over, Oluchi celebrated with Nello and Femi. Her heart finally unburdened, and she felt free at last. It wasn't until much later that Femi revealed his true identity over a candlelit romantic dinner. He confessed that he was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar tech company. Stunned, Oluchi struggled to process it all. She struggled to process the revelation, but before she could speak, Femi got down on one knee, presenting a diamond ring that sparkled like the stars. "Oluchi, will you marry me?" he asked, his voice trembling with emotions. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "Yes, yes, Femi, I will marry you." Their wedding was a celebration of love, a celebration of resilience, and a celebration of second chances. Oluchi, now glowing with happiness, became the wife of a man who adored her. Together, they raised Nello and welcomed 3 more children into their lives, building a home filled with laughter and joy. Meanwhile, Uche's life spiraled downward. Jobless and battling illness, he was consumed by regret for the family he had lost. He lived in solitude, a shadow of the man he once was. Oluchi's story is a testament to the power of faith, resilience, and the belief that there are brighter days ahead. For every door that closes, another door opens, often leading to a love and happiness we never imagined could be possible. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, life can surprise you when you least expect it. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, stay hopeful. Bye.